First things first, we just hit quorum on our vote. So Universe Marketplace basically just got born, and it's about to fucking start walking in a few days. So I don't know. I don't want to speak on behalf of the whole team. I'm 99% sure that after us testing everything today, it looks like we are going to be good to go as soon as possible. We have a few more things that we need to check boxes off on. But essentially, there has been no bad news yet, and it's looking like the end goal is on the horizon. We're almost there, and I think we're pretty proud of what we've got so far. But today we're not going to give any direct updates, but we'll just open it up to the community for questions. We've been doing this the last few weeks just because we're not really building anything new. We're just finishing off the final touches on these contracts and integrations and connections, making sure everything is tip top and making sure nothing's going to break and everything's working how it needs to. And so far it is. So we're very excited about that. But unless Ryan or Tyler or anybody wants to say anything, we can jump right into questions into the community. I can go ahead and start looking in the channel. Okay, so looks like no one wanted to say anything, but looks like Danny has a question today. He asked if we have any viable marketing plans and strategies set up to reach new users.
We've kind of talked about that every single day.
Yeah, we've kind of been answering this question. We have a ton of marketing content. We have videos. Some people actually saw the video get teased. We had to take it down because it wasn't the final version, and it was just miscommunication. But we'll get that up either tonight or tomorrow for everyone to see in the final edit. But yeah, some people got a sneak peek of the marketplace on Twitter.
That was me that posted it, and I shouldn't have, but I was excited.
And then Danny also asked, are there any specific people on the team that are on this task? And honestly, the answer to that is really the whole team kind of helps with the marketing and the content that goes into marketing, whether it's ideas, creation, or doing the actual posting or the copy, or everyone tends to put their hands in a lot of that stuff. And a lot of us have access to that Twitter, so it's all a group effort, and that's part of being a DAO is, leaning on each other sometimes and, bringing it all together in harmony. Zach does a lot of cool designs, Dima does a lot of cool designs, but we have a ton of other artists that are also helping on a ton of marketing materials, the list goes on and on about how many people are helping on a lot of the marketing. But we do have people planning out post and marketing strategies. Sometimes we make mistakes and post the wrong thing, but okay. Lucky Luke asked 8 p.m. which time zone, and I'm not really sure what he's asking. But usually when we're talking, we usually say EST, just because it's kind of easiest for us. Unless we don't directly specify, you can just assume we're talking about EST. I'm reading this next question, but I don't really know if it's a question.
The one about the Polygon spam?
No.
Wait, about that? Many staked in the DAO, but the turnaround for voting is less.
I guess he's asking if there's a way to incentivize voting.
Yeah, I thought about that before, but
that's honestly a good question.
We do incentivize voting. So there's already an incentive for voting. The way you vote is you stake in the DAO and you earn DAO rewards for having your token
Yeah,
staked
but
in the DAO.
the question is, like, the people who don't vote still get the rewards.
The problem is the cost of voting. That's one of the things that we're doing on Barnbridge is moving to optimism, specifically because I just don't think it's a good idea to incentivize voting in that way because people can vote if something's very, very important to them, but if you only have $1,000 worth of XYZ staked on the DAO, you're probably not going to vote on every proposal because when gas prices are high, it can be $150 to vote. So
Yeah, you don't need it.
I don't want to force people to vote.
Yeah, I don't think, and if you have your token staked, you might not be voting every time, but you're at least, I guess, in a sense, willing to. And it is we're decentralized, of course, so it's your choice at the end of the day to vote or not. So yeah, I mean that's the incentive is you're staked in that you get to choose what you want to vote on. The incentive is you can earn more voting power by being staked in the DAO and ready to vote if you feel like you want to.
Yeah, it's a good question though.
Mahoney, did you just say something?
He had some background noise, so I muted him.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Send a message in the chat. If any of you guys get muted though, just since that got brought up, if anyone's muted and has a question and we muted you by mistake, just send a message in the pre-MMA chat and we'll get you unmuted and you can ask your question.
Okay, so these next 4 questions are basically win marketplace. I'm not gonna say any days just so the devs don't come out here and literally murder me. But it's literally coming in within the next 3 to 6 days, hopefully. But I'm not gonna be able to give an exact date or they'll literally come murder me. So let's try to protect me at all costs for at least a few more days. What's the best feature request suggested by the community that's on the short-term roadmap? I think that would be on-chain orders. Am I right, Chubba?
100%. Those open up a few cool things, one of which is that DAOs can actually trustlessly trade the NFTs that they own. Real on-chain DAOs and multi-sigs can actually participate in marketplaces, which they can't wearable yet.
Yeah, and also not to mention that you can also deploy currently already on Universe, our minting contracts, you can create your own collection, but essentially what you're doing when you're creating your own collection is you're creating your own little minting contract. Damn, come on. Hush. And basically, God, freaking dogs always distract me. Okay, basically what you're doing is you're creating your own minting contract and you're minting your artwork to that contract. And basically that is the closest thing you can have to a digital signature, and a lot of artists did request that, and literally were requesting this last year, and we still really haven't seen. I mean, Manifold, people from what I understand, you own your own minting contracts, but we kind of followed their footsteps. I mean, we were planning to do it, but honestly, I think that a lot of people wanted those features, but yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to integrate, and we even are having conversations right now on how's the best way to silo new community features, because we don't think that everything needs to go to a DAO vote, but essentially major things do. But I mean, if we get enough people requesting the same features, then that kind of, gives us an idea that people are actually want this. Simp man, I love your question, but I'm gonna skip it. Just cause. But I love you. Okay, then Resistance asks, will Universe support Polygon as well? Right away, we're not going to be integrated with any L2s, but essentially our mindset is start on Ethereum, and we will build and bridge to all the L2s. We've said this before. We think that the NFT ecosystem needs to be cross-chain. Honestly, it's looking like all of crypto really essentially is going towards cross-chain, but it's easiest for us to start on Ethereum. And also, I truly believe that most NFT assets probably should be minted on Ethereum. I mean, there's certain and special use cases that I can agree with that probably shouldn't be. But essentially, when you mint on Ethereum, you can move it to Polygon and then bridge it back and then move it to Optimism, depending on what type of thing you want to do with your NFT, or, maybe it's a gaming NFT and you want to have it on Polygon, but then one day someone allows you to loan that out on Optimism, so you want to be able to bridge it back. Not that some of these L2 NFTs necessarily can't do that. It's just the way that we thought was the right way to build, and we definitely want to build to really, if there's people building NFT projects on all these L2s, I don't see why we wouldn't want to do that and help. Because honestly, one thing that I've learned about Polygon is and I didn't really think about this because I live in America, but most people in other countries are using L2s to mint their work, because of how cheap it is. And even I've started using a lot of the L2s. Tyler's talked to me about them moving Barnbridge to Optimism, exactly he already mentioned it on this call. But we definitely want to integrate with L2s. Optimism, Polygon, Metis, even some of those ZK things Immutable X, and because those games have so many assets, and not everything needs to be on Ethereum exactly, but I think that it's a good place to start for a lot of this. Scudchat asks, what and who is Particlon? Particlon is the Charged Particles NFT. I actually think Ben Lakoff might be in here. I saw him typing. Ben, do you want to come up? Ben, do you want to come up and answer this question about what is Particlon?
Even if he doesn't want to, or if he's busy, that's fine. I can kind of answer it.
Yeah, Al, if you want to take it away, but yeah, Ben's in here.
He said sure, so we gotta let him up.
Okay, yeah, let's let Ben explain.
We
couldn't hear you.
You have to unmute yourself.
You should
now
be.
Now it says you're unmuted, but I still can't hear you.
I don't know if I can hear him. How do we turn that off? What is push to talk?
I'm going to turn it off. Oh, I think it has to do with the roles, actually.
We're having technical difficulties, but we want to bring Ben up here so he can explain this, because he's one of the geniuses behind this all. So, and also we don't want to butcher it. But I believe in Al. I think Al could probably.
Yeah, I only was introduced to it through that event that we went to. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I was introduced to it through that event we went to. It was in Denver, and it was a Charged Particles event that at the kind of not at the last minute, but we ended up sponsoring it at Universe, and Mark did a couple panels there, and Mark did a really good job talking at those panels and explaining to people what was going on, and Tim and Chubba also talked on one of the panels. Yeah, so that event was kind of cool. They had this blimp that flew around and would drop these things. And one of the things was an airdrop Pope thing and then another, it was a bunch of different stuff. One of the things with this QR code you could scan though, and like mint these passes, and basically they get if there's only 250, and they get you pre-sale access to Particlons, and that's going to be this like generative profile picture drop that Charged Particles releases, and it'll include, I'm sure, a lot of the tech from Charged Particles and like some of the new stuff they're doing. But yeah, basically here, let me see if I can just. What if we just gave Ben? Ben has the best role. Like I don't understand why he can't.
I just didn't want to cut you off. Can you hear
Oh,
me
here
now?
we go.
She just didn't
Nice.
want to cut me off. I'm really excited
Hey.
for the Particlones, by the way.
Hey, yeah, you crushed it. Also, you said a kind of cool event. I mean, Tim opened for Tycho DJing. You had
There
all you
was an
guys
X-Wing there.
on stage. There was an X-wing. It was super cool. No,
It was so sick. Yeah, it was.
I don't want to talk too much about it. I shared a link. I mean, friends of Universe and everything that you guys are doing here. This is definitely your show. But Particlon is Charged Particles' first generative drop, so it's got all of our tech capabilities right off the bat, and we're whitelisting a bunch of polymorphs because we love those little things too. But yeah, I shared the Twitter in there, and I don't want to steal you guys' stage. This is Universe AMA.
Nah, but this is but we like to bring people on so they can talk about their NFTs because like we're an NFT marketplace and it gets people like learning about stuff, and like we're big believers in education in the space, and we really think the stuff that you guys are doing is really breaking boundaries for NFTs. And I mean, like DeFi NFTs are really cool, and I don't think enough people are really learning about them. So I think a lot of people in here may want to hear about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sure. So, I mean, Charged Particles is a NFT protocol first. So all NFTs, not just art, but what we enable is an NFT to hold other assets. So we give it its own smart wallet, and then that smart wallet that NFT controls can own other tokens, whether they be fungible or non. So this has tremendous gaming attributes, and at this point, we've segmented into different guilds. We have a gaming guild. There's a bunch of cool projects, a music guild. Somebody just closed their pre-seed Unchained Music. So lots of different verticals, but gaming has always been like this really, really cool vertical. So Particlon allows us to like flex those capabilities. We have partnerships with Mona and a bunch of other ones we're talking about. So we'll have full 3D render. I mean, aesthetically, these will be really, really freaking sweet, but they'll also come preloaded with a bunch of goodies. So your NFT is not only generative, randomized based on traits, etc., like normal, but it's pioneering the way of this non-fungible token loaded full of fungible tokens as well as like another level of randomness. So we're super excited. It mints later this month, the 29th. Public on the 30th, and yeah, we'll be doing a bunch of like whitelists and stuff for polymorph people because we love you guys.
Go.
We love you, bro. The stuff that y'all
thanks,
doing
guys.
are so cool. Like I love this shit. One of the coolest things that I think Charged Particles has helped, I don't know if they completely built it by themselves or if like I know they had a hand in it, is like they built these NFTs that basically can be like vesting contracts, and I think there's a lot of cool power in that. I thought that was a really cool use case for NFTs to be able to hold crypto tokens and then like release them, at a rate or like every week. So I think that's it's just another really cool use case that I don't think people are really diving into on the NFT side.
Yeah, definitely, and I'll share a link on that. We call them vesting capsules. Great use case. So anybody that's raising capital that wants to put their investor tokens in an NFT, happy to chat for sure.
Thanks for coming up, Ben. We really appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
And yeah,
of course.
that party was
Thanks for having
fucking sick. That party was sick.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mango because he killed that thing. He put all that together, and I would say that
He's finally back. I think he damn near killed himself doing it.
Well, it was awesome. So, okay, let's jump to the next question. we've answered this question, Synthman, about XYZ holders getting fees and when. Essentially, we are not doing that right now, but that's like something that we can bring to a forum chat and a DAO vote as a community. But essentially, that's not our plan at the moment. I skipped over y'all's Polygon optimism debate, but I loved reading it.
Yeah, I will chime into that if I may.
Yeah, Chubba, please.
There is a lot of spam on L2s and sidechains and other alternative L1s and whatnot. But I think the way forward is that like anything on sidechains that displays publicly should just be whitelisted by the NFT owner on the marketplace. Otherwise, it just won't be displayed. That way, you can get all the upside of these NFTs without worrying about like spam, because it'll just be entirely like up to you what you display. So yeah, I agree. Spam sucks, but I don't think we're gonna have to live with it forever, especially not on Universe.
Nice. Well, that's something to look forward to, right? A spamless world.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any unique features you guys are the most excited about for people to try out? I mean, I guess we could all answer this. I mean, my favorite is the auction house, to be honest. I mean, when Justin Blau did his auction, I thought it was a really cool style. I thought like this could be a really creative, useful tool. But the fact that we put a 0% fee on top of it and like you can literally sell anything, I think it's really going to like spark more. I don't want to say like it's going to like fire up the NFT market, but like, I mean, imagine if we could really go out here and test, like, you know, you can personally go like market your own auction and like you get your own personal auction link. Like we're letting you create a landing page on the interface that, you know, allows you to basically create like your own little auction page. You have your link and you can send it to people and you can promote it, you can market it and be like, okay, I want to sell my gold Bored Ape, or I want to sell this one-to-one piece of art that I've been working on. I think something that it doesn't exist right now in the NFT marketplace where like an artist or a collector can just go out there and test the market. And like we honestly understand that like the 0% fee is kind of crazy when some people think about it, but the reason we're doing it is because, I mean, like, first off, honestly, it's just we wanted to build an auction house that artists could go and really test how much their work is worth. And we just didn't think that, I mean, like testing a market, we didn't think that necessarily we needed to take a fee for that. But we definitely, as a team, could justify taking a small fee on a secondary sale. But honestly, we just left it as is on the auction. So like you can just auction a NFT on the auction house. But honestly, you have to take you take your risk. Sometimes when you're auctioning something, it may not even sell for the floor price. I mean, I don't really know if that happens in NFTs. I know it used to happen in like sports card auctions when me and Algie used to be buying sports cards, but you know.
You consider it on our auction, so you're not at risk of selling it below what you're comfortable selling it for, which is nice.
Yeah. You have your reserves for sure.
I think one of the features I'm really excited about is the collection wide bidding, because one, that's on chain, and then two, I think like NFT prices are determined by sellers basically, because all orders are sell side. So I'm excited to see buyers take some power back. That'll be cool.
Algie, do you want to chime in?
I was honestly reading something in our Slack. What were you guys just saying?
What's your favorite like feature that you're looking forward to on the Universe Marketplace?
Yeah. So that's such okay. So artists are. I just went to this Fluff event in Austin, right? And I was able to link with a ton of artists and performers. And I'm not gonna like dox who, but I basically was able to educate so many like kind of in my opinion, big name people about and their management about how NFTs are basically gonna work on Universe, and like a lot of people just like weren't aware because they don't have time to keep up. And so how it's gonna work is you're gonna be able to mint if you're an artist and you don't have like dev talent. Our goal is for eventually it to be set up for you to be able to mint on decentralized contracts that you actually own. You'll be able to mint your NFTs in whatever way you want. We'll have different types of ways. You'll be able to do that easily with even a large amount of art, and these tools will take time, but eventually we want there to be a way for artists to just be able to mint any type of drop they want and sell it however they want on our site. And if you're like a big artist and you want to like do your one of one, you don't even have to worry about auctioning, or when you auction it, you don't have to worry about fees because we have fees on there. And on there we also build tools for artists. So like if any big artists come to us and they like have features that they want us to add for their auction, as long as it like makes sense, like and like a good group has agreed that that will end up like working well, we'll add these tools to the universe and then we'll leave them there for everyone to use. So we really want to build out our minting tools. Me specifically, I'm gonna really push for this. Regardless of what the team wants, I'll try to get proposals to have minting tools. I just really am I just know the space really well, and I know that artists need this. Like right now, there's no way for an artist to do anything without a dev. It's just true. Like, what are you gonna do? Go release on OpenSea or pray that Nifty allows you to release your content? And then even in that situation, like you're on these centralized contracts, and then if you release through Rarible, you're paying fees on every NFT. And so like there needs to be some type of lazy minting process and like just like more available options for artists to be able to release content. And so not only is this going to like make it easier for artists, but it's also gonna like allow them to release like the content that they've been waiting to decide how they want to do it themselves. You know what I mean? So a lot of artists have like their best content that is like NFTs that they are just saving because they don't want to release it and have to like split the money because they don't know how to build a smart contract. You know what I mean? And that's not really fair to an artist to like expect them to have to like hire a dev team. And in my opinion. So yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing I'm excited for is having it so artists can create without needing to get like finessed basically by developers. And then they'll be able to sell these on our auctions and yeah, get zero fees in that aspect. And then if they do want to do primary on like a different way, like I even want to do other ways that these probably won't have zero fees, but like other ways for us to allow people to sell their NFTs on primary. Like I probably shouldn't say like specifics because I don't want to like say we're going to do something we're not, but yeah, like even what I just said, we don't have that already voted on or planned out. Like all that would have to be through DAO proposal. Like I said, I personally would try to push for a proposal on those type of things. So yeah, those are things I really want. And I think that we all are aligned on that we all really want there to be tools for artists. And that's the whole point of Universe, especially from my understanding of what the founders, the reason they like created it.
Yeah, it's all about the artist. That really was our approach. The collectors are important too, but I think that we did have more so the artists and collectors in mind. And some people actually kind of ask why we launched the minting first, and it just kind of aligned with our original plan was we wanted to build tools for artists, and minting contracts and custom minting contracts is kind of what the artists were asking for, so we jumped on that.
I'm most excited for the decentralized part of the marketplace and just kind of see how that rolls out. And then I'm also excited for Temple, which is something that y'all will see coming soon.
Can't believe that I didn't even talk about Temple right there. Yeah, I'm immensely excited for Temple. Nick slash Warden has been working super hard on that, and he's been doing a great job organizing that with the group that has been putting that together. Big shout out to Dima too. He's like our graphic designer. He does an amazing job too.
Yes, Temple's coming. But we're not going to say too much about that because that's just like highly secret alpha. And we'll just tell you about the name. But the name is dope, so.
I agree with you, Zach, and also I'd add to it that like one of the things I'm looking forward to is there will be more like the development process. Like we're gonna basically be moving to like 2-week sprints, and so the updates that we give, like if we don't prioritize like a feature request, I think that like will honestly help the community start to get a better understanding of like, hey, feature request is dope, but it's a massive lift. Like this feature request is we added in a sprint, so we can all like as a community prioritize and like understand what setbacks are in certain like requests. Like that will allow us to be a lot more active and transparent.
James F's question is, what's the plan to make sure someone doesn't fork the marketplace on other chains and beat Universe to demand there? I think, honestly, the only thing that they'll be able to fork is our contracts, and we're actually going to start building. I mean, we have partners and
our L2 and sidechain contracts are going to be different than our L1 contracts.
yeah, I mean, essentially, like, you can't deploy the same contracts on Polygon as you do at ETH.
You can, ours are going to be like L2 specific, so they'll be built specifically for like low transaction fees instead of like our mainnet contracts, which are built to be usable even when gas fees are really high.
Well, and like the back end, like you have to
Yeah.
rebuild the entire back end, those API inputs. So like, I mean, I don't know, like I'm sure we will get beat on one side chain that we ignore, but ultimately I think like we should probably look at Polygon just because
we have been talking to Polygon. Like I've been talking to Polygon for the last 6 months about this. It's just we're not done with ETH.
Polymorphs have a Polygon bridge, like the League DAO has the on Polygon. Like we've already been working with that team. We just have to get this on like we need to get it working on Ethereum. Most of the value transfer from NFT is on Ethereum, so like that is the carrot. And I think Polygon and Optimism are absolute that we should look into. I mean, I just don't know if we need like building an NFT market for Solana. Like,
I don't think
if we
we're
spread
going to do
ourselves
that.
too thin, we're not going to be like.
We are just talking about L2s. Solana is its own whole other thing.
So is Polygon. I mean, the point is that like someone probably I mean, there's a chance that like take Solana as an example, like if someone builds a marketplace there, they may be better at being a Solana marketplace because of our focus on Ethereum and machine. So like I think that instead of us trying to be all things for everything, focus on getting one thing really right and prioritize other L1s and L2s of like that initial success. But like, I mean, is it over 90% of volume has to be on, so like that's the.
Yeah, I think
so. You
yeah.
go, Chubba.
Yeah, I don't think people really trust moving things like Bored Apes or Punks over to Polygon just yet, but I think when they do like ZKs on there, people will be a lot more likely to do that, and I think we'll definitely want to be, on Polygon at that point. But until then,
like when you look at something like Optimism, it's probably not like Bored Apes, the carrot there. It's probably like a more financial NFT perspective, like DeFi and like the Uni V3, those like G-Uni things, like Olympus bonds. So like that's a very different type of marketplace. But my gut says that there's an L2 that is rivaling the financial value of a base chain. It might not be art.
Yeah, it might be Particlons.
It might be music, and I mean, there's a bunch of. I think market develop, but right now, I think over 90% of our effort toward 90% volume.
Okay. We had another question. Are there plans for stables as a way to buy and sell NFTs? Yes, and you're also going to be able to use XYZ. I think it's DAI and USDC, but not Tether.
Yeah. With stables XYZ, you can list NFTs for sale and make bids in right from the get-go.
One other thing I want to point out about the L2s, honestly, is that like we have a lot of stuff we want to incorporate on the Ethereum end of our marketplace. So like I think that is more of a priority than like building out something for an L2 until we have like most of our features released. And at that point, like Vitalik comes out and tries to tell us every month that Ethereum's going to be low gas fees soon. So like we're just going to really have to see where the space is at the when like and naturally just let it flow, like see what happens. And like once we get to the point where we're ready to expand, if that's even like by that point, Ethereum might be low gas fees, and everybody who's been building out all these L2 stuff has wasted their time in a sense because they could have just waited for Ethereum and built on Ethereum. So we really got to see where we're at, in my opinion, in this space. Obviously, that sounds like I'm big on ETH, and I am. So I'm down to wait in my opinion and see like how long it takes for Ethereum to get it right.
Looks like we have a question. Is there any news on the polymorphs? I don't think there's anything like jump out like crazy news. I think we've talked about the comedy writers we've been working with. We're gonna try to make some animated polymorph episodes of
Yeah, the polymorphs are in therapy right now. So until the marketplace is up and running, the polymorphs are just working out their problems and just talking it through with some real expert level guys. So you'll see what all that is about soon, hopefully.
It looks like Gunner has a question about his beloved polys and wants to know if they're planning on destroying the seekers. I do not have any alpha on that. The higher powers above me do, though.
I'm not sure about the seekers. Yeah, I don't know. The best psychiatrist I know tells me that Charles needs 30 days institutionalized.
Speculation, because Tyler's the one who leaked the alpha on Goblin Town in the fluff. So people speculate, because Tyler loves the polymorphs, so does that mean they're connected? You know what I mean? And they just talked about in this AMA yesterday that how Goblin Town works is they're gonna go and like destroy the Seekers or something like that. I don't know exactly what they were saying. I actually probably said that wrong just now. They said it in the AMA. You can go listen. I'm not trying. You know what I mean? So based on that speculation, though, people are speculating that because Tyler brought it up, it has something to do with it. Then we don't know. That got given to Fluff Team, so like we don't know what it's gonna be, but that's the speculation that the people in the community of the Fluff chat are saying, is that they think the polymorphs will have, but yeah, that's all speculation. So like don't do anything ridiculous based on what we just said. Yeah, it's pure speculation that the polymorphs are going to be a part of Goblin Town. The only reason people think that is because Tyler has talked about it. There's no other reason people think that.
And I will just like emphasize what Algie says. Like that's Fluff's project. Tyler kind of gave it to Fluff's, and it's not really much more than that. Like we don't know anything on the universe side other than what kind of Tyler had thought, and even Tyler doesn't know what they're gonna do with it.
The
So
only thing that we
Wait,
know
what?
is that we're all going there.
Oh, but are they asking about Goblin Town?
Yeah, we're going to Goblin Town.
Tyler, they were more asking about the Seekers and how it was all related, and we were just kind of saying that
Yeah, I mean,
that's
we were
kind of
talking with Dorian, like the Sylo people are our boys, we support whatever they, but I gave all creative direction to Fluff World and started working on Deviant, the artist that I was using. So like, I'm not like I could find out running that project. So like, the alpha that people are getting is mostly just disinformation. Like Aaron found a dope group in New Zealand that develops games. They source like a pretty sick artist, and we like. I mean, I've helped them, and Zach has helped them on like the dynamics of the drop and like what we're generally doing. But my gut says they're prioritizing seekers, prioritizing Goblin Town, and the stuff that I'm doing with the deviants I've shared with Aaron and the Fluff World guys, making sure all the art lines up because like I kind of want those to be compatible in like the metaverse that we build in the same way that like they're in the Polymorphs are compatible in stuff that they're working. So like we're all boys. We've been building together for years. I would assume that we're just going to keep building together and having fun because I think what that ecosystem between universe and polymorphs and what the InterDAO squads do with sharded minds, what Fluff World is doing, what ASM is doing, what Seekers is doing. Like to me, those are the most technically advanced things happening in all of NFTs right now. So I don't like see us stopping building together because a lot of where the innovation's coming is from us throwing ideas off each other. But we had to focus on getting the marketplace out, and so that like Fluff World and ASM were able to focus specifically on those things. But I think that what's coming behind it is a lot of like non-shared work that we've been waiting to release. And I think as we keep building ability into things, there will be like more opportunity for us to collaborate.
Tyler, so do you want to tell us anything about the deviants at all?
No, just that we're building a degen racetrack.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we'll keep the deviants here.
And nuclear fallout and bunkers and satellite dishes, cornfields.
If you build it, they will corn.
What are sandals?
Oh, those wooden sandals. Yeah, they look like some torture thing.
Something of the deviants. Oh yeah, when he sent the wooden sandals. That's hilarious. That's funny. When he said just a sneak peek or something, I'll give you the alpha. There's already been one. There's already been a sneak peek of the deviants, and y'all had to have been paying attention. I mean, you can go back and find it. Maybe I don't know if it's still there, but there's been a sneak peek, believe it or not, and it was super obvious too.
Yeah, one of them, but we haven't really. I mean, we're launching them like two-dimensional art with 3D backgrounds, but like the 3D art is obviously come directly behind it because like the 2D characters don't. I mean,
Plenty. Your question is good.
I just don't want to leak too much alpha because like I don't know the line
Then
on
don't.
when
We're who knows when we're
I'll
gonna
push
release.
for the next one now. I think we'll leave it at that.
We're focused on the marketplace right now. How will the Fluffs and ASM etc., prioritize XYZ over OpenSea and other marketplaces. Well, I can just say that we're aligned with them directly, and we are going to have competitively lower fees. So, I mean, if they want to, essentially we can't force people to sell on a marketplace, but like our team at Fluff, like all the founders and everybody are very aligned with Universe, and they're definitely going to be, we hope that they're going to be, pushing us over OpenSea.
Yeah, Aaron was asking. I think that they're definitely planning on integrating with us. At a high level, like the lowest hanging fruit would be to help them build a custom interface that lives on Fluff, their website. They can just post a market. Probably want to do that for a project.
We're all gonna make it. Don't worry, everyone. We're almost there. I'm sorry that we've held all the polymorph stuff from you guys, but I think it's important that we've pushed out the marketplace and prioritized everything. But essentially, I think we've gotten through most of the questions. If anybody has any final thoughts or anything that they want to ask us, I'll give everyone a few more minutes. But yeah, we do just want to give a shout out to the community too. We've been building this for a long time, and we really appreciate a lot of the people who have stuck with us and, told their friends about us. Our community has grown massively. I think there was only 2,000 or 3,000. I don't even know how many people we had. But essentially, we've gained a lot of following because of friends and people, sticking with us. You can't do it without the community, and we just want to say we appreciate it. As builders, that, everyone was sticking with us while we've been building everything. Why do orphans like boomerang so much? Jeez. You guys are pretty savage. Okay.
Okay.
All right, dude. We'll can you talk about the XYZ token?
Marketplace, because it's just too easy to be exploited. Not even our own. We're never going to incentivize people to list or sell NFTs on our marketplace because it is too easy to be exploited. It's that simple. But there will be incentives for holding your polymorphs. So, you can count on that. So, if that's tech, I guess that's subliminally, I guess, a way to incentivize trading. Not really. We're just trying to make the polymorphs fun. We don't really. It's not really about if they're trading at a rapid volume or anything. It's just about if the people who there's only 170 polymorphs listed right now out of 10,000. That's a ridiculous. It's because all the people who hold them want to keep them. So
what are you talking about?
Incentivize people for holding them. That's kind of it. We're just trying to build cool stuff for the polymorphs. They're a character for you to use in the games that we're gonna release. That's what they are.
We're believers in the open metaverse, so people are gonna build shit and you're gonna integrate with polymorphs. We just finished a lot of our art for the World Wide Web thing. We're about to send over some stuff to those guys so they can integrate the polymorphs into their game. Yeah, we're working on it. Plenty. We don't really talk about the price at XYZ. You probably shouldn't sell your dog. It's just don't sell your dog, dude.
Your dog. What I want us to address what Micah just asked though. Mark, can you answer that question?
What?
Will we be able to contact a seller on Universe?
Okay, so if you guys know how Sylo works, essentially we are going to try and I was with the Sylo guys this weekend. They want to integrate with us. We think that would be a cool tool to integrate with. We're going to try our best to try and get that thing on I mean, they're on SensNet, so they're not even on Ethereum, but essentially the way they explained it to me this weekend is that it's possible. But I mean, we don't want to build a whole like decentralized messaging app, but I mean, we do like the ability to contact sellers. Essentially, though, this does open up opportunity for scams. So, I mean, being able to message someone on a marketplace is, just as dangerous as accepting a message on Discord from someone you don't know. So, like, we're gonna have to teach the community, like, hey, let's not click on links from people you don't know. Don't give people your seed phrase. That kind of stuff. I still think that education is something that we can't get too far ahead of, because like we're always going to have new people in the space. And like I heard someone say this weekend at South by Southwest that like getting rugged or hacked is kind of like your like baptism into crypto and NFTs. And I don't really like necessarily like agree with that. Like I guess it does help you like figure out like, okay, I actually got to be careful. But like that shouldn't be like, everyone shouldn't have to come into crypto space and learn like how to do this and then get rugged and be like, oh, sorry, this happens to everyone. I mean, I think that's kind of shitty that that's how the industry is. So I think that we definitely need to focus on that.
I think a big step Discord could take is when you make an account, like start the profile off with Discord messages on private. Like I do not understand why Discord accounts like start off as default where anyone can message you, because that's like really the source of how a lot of scams are happening. Like if most people just kept their messages on private, it would prevent a lot. But even then, like I've seen, remember what happened to Party Bears? Like you really got to be so careful, and even like when you're being careful, you got to be careful because like it can happen like when you would just like in the weirdest situation that just makes no sense. Like,
I mean, one thing we are gonna have though is like you're gonna actually be able to like connect your Twitter, so like you can actually verify that like the person that is their actual Twitter. So like that may help to start. But yeah, I mean, essentially like if you tune into like a lot of our early project calls, we really do talk a little bit about like turning Universe into a social media marketplace. And I have spoken about this a lot, about just how NFTs are so social in nature already. Like that's why Facebook and Instagram have really like jumped on the NFTs. I mean, obviously Facebook has rebranded to Meta. They're very bullish on the metaverse, but like, they're already so social by nature. But one thing that I didn't really understand is like, why do we have to leave the website to go to Discord or Twitter? Like, why can't we bring some of that to the website? Because essentially, like, there's a lot of internet like KPIs that marketers use, but one of the most important that I think is how long does someone stay on your website before they leave? And essentially, like, I never understood why OpenSea just never let people message each other. I mean, I think it's because they don't want to deal with the headache of scams on their platform. But like, I mean, like, bro, like we're never gonna get rid of scams in the world. Like scammers are gonna keep scamming, and they're gonna find out new ways. It's like whack-a-mole. You kill one, and 5 more pop up. So I mean, we can do our best to eliminate these things, and we'll try our best. But like, we're not gonna not do it though, like OpenSea and some of these other platforms. But our best bet is to probably integrate with Sylo on this, because I mean, essentially building like decentralized messaging is not an easy lift either. Micah, this is actually pretty good too, bro. Like, pre-selected questions. I think that works, but like eventually, like you're gonna get to a point where like you like maybe aren't gonna be able to communicate, or like maybe you can take the conversation off. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to consider it. I think it's something to consider for sure. But I think it will lead to a lot of dead-end questions. Like a lot of people, like, I don't know if anyone like listened into one of David's chats this weekend at Fluff World. They were streaming the events, but like they use like bots for like talking to people and in some of those things, and like even in a messaging app, you'd be surprised sometimes when you're talking to a bot and you don't even realize it. Or even like one of those bots that's like in the support of like the website that you go and view. So I mean, AI is getting very smart, and like I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff we got to think about with the messaging part. That's part of why it's kind of in the later renditions of the marketplace. But yeah, I mean, that's the best way to answer that. I mean, we are trying to decentralize it all, but I mean, like, we got to go in steps. We got to get the marketplace out, and then we'll work on. But yeah, that's where our heads are at. Is definitely more of a social marketplace where people can contact each other and like make galleries and view each other's NFTs, and then like maybe comment on a gallery that someone hosts, and like, we have a whole bunch of really cool ideas on how to bring information and data to the marketplace and allow everyone to learn and get information so that they're not like, like how do we like, this is another thing Tim has really talked to me about and I feel like has really ingrained it. It's really just like we do need to just continue to educate people, but like, what about the history of Bored Apes? Like, what about the history of some of these things? And how do we get that information onto the marketplace so that people can learn about NFTs? Because like we said, we have new people every week, every day. I think that we need to continue to try and educate those people, or we're not going to make it as an industry. We definitely need to not get complacent and think that like we're better than anyone, or we need to be able to be like, when we were all like, we're all going to make it GM, like no man left behind. I think that that's really what a lot of people liked about NFTs. And then we had a lot of scammers and like influencers kind of ruin that because people got burned. But essentially, I think like the people that stick around are the people who want to help each other. So, I mean, I just think we need more of that in the NFT space. But I'll end my ramble and I'll let everyone go because I don't think we have any more questions. But if anybody has any closing thoughts on the Universe team, for sure chime in. But I think we've gone for an hour.
Sylo. But yeah, that's like other things that will probably not until later on once we've built out the marketplace more and like have that ready. Because for now, it is also an option. Like we're gonna have a way for you to link people's social media. You can just talk to them through there, and we'll try to get that set up as fast as possible. But yeah, I like Sylo.
Yeah, we like Sylo. We like charged particles. We're going to definitely continue to align with all the best builders in the space. You can definitely bet on that. And we're going to definitely try to support every artist in the NFT space the best that we can with custom contracts and anything that we can do. So bring on the feature requests, I guess. Open the floodgates. Get ready, Rain. It's coming, brother. Oh, I love all the posts on the Universe merch. Let's go.
I'm always excited.
Marijuana. That's hilarious. Did you see? Never mind. Elon Musk said he's gonna 1v1 fight Putin. He called Putin. He basically said he's a bitch for not 1v1 fighting him.
What do you mean, Lona?
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. We love you all. Thank you, everybody, for being so supportive. And we'll see you guys next week. And I think hopefully by next week, we're going to have a marketplace to play with. This is what a peak NFT marketplace looks like. And there's not a fucking thing you can do about it, baby. Let's go.